that one. Do we like my new shirt? It's from 1999. It's not new, but it's new to me. We're obviously in a new house. This is Teddy's blanket avalanche. He likes to cuddle under. Right now he's sitting next to the heater because he likes to sit on the heater vent. Anyway, I had some people commenting, what are the home updates? What are the house updates? And what I can tell you right now is that we have started renovations and I'm very excited. It's very exciting. And once my home is done, you will have to beg me to shut up about home stuff. So I'm trying not to overload you right now, okay? But trust me, the updates are coming when I'm able to. I'm very excited. Oh my God, my eggs are still going. I'm trying out this new brand today called Fluff, which I'm really excited about because it's like this notoriously cool girl brand that's also incredibly like elusive and kind of like very exclusive feeling. And they sent me some stuff and I feel very cool girl. So we'll try it though. We'll see how cool girl it actually is. Go team. Let's make some matcha. I don't know if I remember how to make matcha, but it can't be that hard, right? We're using this like say matcha from Rockies. Need a cute little bowl. I'm thinking a lot about the fact that we have, what, 49 days as when I'm filming this until summer. I don't know if I have a favorite season, but I feel like I love summer because I feel like winter and fall, even though we don't get real seasons here in LA, do feel very introspective. And I feel like spring and summer is when you take whatever you learned or you realized and try and like be that version of yourself in the summer. I feel like summer is always a time where I'm like, how can I get cooler? Trying our best here. And I feel like summer, at least for me, most of the year, the beginning of the year, the first 3 to 4 months feel like a fever dream. And then summer hits and that feels like the real bulk of when life happens. Life is happening all the time, but you get what I mean. The days are longer. You have more time to exist. You have more time to think and ponder. You also have more time to like hang out with yourself and other people that I think you become a lot more aware of the ways you've grown, I think. Obviously there's like the, how can I get cooler? How can I get hotter? And I think you can answer all of those questions by just asking yourself how to get weirder. The ratio is 100% off, but you know what? We're not gonna waste it. It's actually not that bad. It was happening before, but it's happening a lot more now where people are asking me for creative advice. Maybe they wanna start making content, maybe they wanna exist on the internet or exist creatively in some way, and they ask me like, how do you stay so creative? How do you stay so inspired? How? I do think for a lot of people, like you're boring because you care too much and not about the right things, because it is cool to care. I talk about this a lot with my friends where I'm like, I don't think content creators are necessarily creatives and creatives aren't content creators, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I think a lot of content creators are inspired by other content creators, right? So like everyone exists in the same echo chamber of the For You page that's honestly like spoon feeding everybody. Of course everybody sounds the same, everybody's pulling from the same well. Obviously easier said than done, but I think when people compliment me and they're like, oh my goodness, like I love your style, I love the way you've been editing your videos recently, or I love the way you've hopped from like niche to niche, like how do you do that? The answer is pretty boring. Like I let my content follow me, I don't follow my content. So every single time that I've existed on the internet, I was a roller skater on the internet for a little bit, I worked at BuzzFeed for a little bit before I graduated college, and then I was like off the internet, and then I started doing beauty stuff, and year over year, whatever I think is cool, whatever I'm into in the moment, my content will always reflect that. And I think that's the easiest way to be, did you just sigh at me? I do think that's the easiest way to be cool. And when I say content creators are inspired by other content creators, I mean like when your source of inspiration is Instagram and TikTok, of course you're gonna sound and look like everybody else on Instagram and TikTok. But I think what's really helped me with that is creating more than I consume, which I do think has leveled up my YouTube quite a bit, honestly, and my short form too, because I'm inspired by things that aren't just on my phone. Watch the movie that's been on your watch list on Netflix for the past 3 years, because you might be inspired by it. I feel like some of my best ideas, all of my best ideas actually, have come from me trusting my intuition and my gut. And every single person that has read my birth chart, they're like, you have really great intuition, and when you follow that, you will benefit from it. I think last year to now, I've definitely shifted my content only because I've shifted, like I've changed, and what I find cool is different than what I found cool last year. And I always want my content to evolve in that way, because if it doesn't, then I feel like I'd be boring. I'd be so bored and I'd be boring. It's really easy to be boring when you're bored. He's sleeping. And I don't know, now that I've started doing this full time, it's been 2 years now, I get asked all the time, like, what piece of advice would you give somebody that's just starting out in content? What piece of advice would you give them? And I feel like now, my biggest piece of advice, acknowledge and appreciate how small the gap that you have between you and your audience is right now. I do think that the bigger you get, everybody wants a manager, everybody wants an editor, everybody wants, like, you know, everyone wants to grow, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like in that, a lot of people forget that, like, the most important thing is to understand who you're talking to. And I feel like personally, for me, oh my gosh, this was my little matcha thing. I was supposed to use that. This is why I just can't make things like that willy-nilly.
Hi, I never finished my thought there because, like the rest of this video, this is one big run-on sentence. But I was going to say, personally, for me, my absolute favorite part about existing on the internet and sharing things creatively with people is the community that builds, and the people on the other side, and engaging with those people and that audience. That's my favorite part. That's what I was going to say. Personally, for me, that's like my favorite part. I mean, the creating part is my favorite part, but that's also another favorite. So what I was going to say, editing, this has been really fun.
Can I also talk about gatekeeping a little bit? Made myself some leftover lunch. On the topic of being cooler and more creative, I feel like we can't talk about that without talking about the idea of gatekeeping. Obviously, gatekeeping is a real thing. But I'm not gonna lie, there is a really interesting thing happening on the internet right now where people almost take someone not sharing something about their personal life, and by personal I mean like literally on their person, maybe like a lip combo or like a tank top, as like a personal like offense. Do you think if you are someone that enjoys the concept of gatekeeping things from other people, I do think you are weird and not in a fun way. But I feel like there's this thing that's happening right now on the internet where people see something they like, whether it's like an editing style or a tank top or shorts or like a lip liner, they ask someone where it's from, what it is, and maybe that person does answer. Maybe one time in the comment section, but then they don't answer the other 200 comments asking the same exact thing. This person's gatekeeping. I literally saw a video on my For You page the other day. It was one of those videos, like street interview videos, where they're like, what's your favorite perfume? Like, what's your go-to perfume? And this person was like, I don't know, like I'm forgetting, like I know the bottle, but like I'm forgetting the name. And all the comments were like, this person's just gatekeeping. Like, I hate people that gatekeep. This person's not even pretty to be gatekeeping. Like just up in arms. And I feel like people are this way about a lot of things, like the way people edit, the way people create. I don't know. I made a video the other day about my hair, and I have made several videos about my hair, details and everything, which I don't necessarily have to do, but I did. I made a whole video sharing like all the details about my hair, where I got it done, all of the details. I made several and I put it in a little playlist on my YouTube, or my TikTok actually. Someone was asking me a question that was already answered in that video. And this is a question that maybe was like 20, 30 different times in the comment section that I saw. And obviously I would see some, but I wouldn't answer every single one. And someone randomly commented, I hate it when influencers gatekeep. It's so annoying. Like, they're so annoying when they gatekeep. And I was like, do you even want to know the information? It's there, but because it isn't being spoon-fed to you in the moment that you want it, in the way that you want it, like, that's really wild, you guys. That's wild. That's when I know if you are placing your ability, if you're placing so much of your own ability to feel good about yourself in the hands of a complete stranger on the internet, I feel like we have bigger fish to fry. You know, it's okay to be annoyed that someone doesn't want to share something with you. That's one thing, to be like, oh, that was weird. Anyway, move on. But another thing, to literally like call people names and be fully, you see red. We all like to be inspired. We all like to be influenced. But I think the moment that you rely on somebody else to spoon feed you what's cool, I do think it might be time to leave the internet a little bit. Lower that screen time a little bit. I never feel entitled to be influenced. It's getting really wild out here. I feel like I've become the most inspired when I've just like put my phone down and I've touched some grass outside. Location unlocked. It's gonna be really fun to color grade this later. Another thing, more on following your creative compulsions. Now that I've been creating for about 2 years now, I feel like I've learned a lot, and I'm continuing to learn a lot, but I feel like one thing I'm noticing is kind of like, I don't know, right now there's this trend happening where it's like, this is blank. I'm not calling anyone out, by the way, but it's like, cause I mean, I'd be calling out thousands of people. A British older man that's like, this is blank, and they're doing whatever, and everyone's using the same AI CapCut template to create it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a CapCut template. But God, is it refreshing to see videos and concepts and ideas that aren't just CapCut templates. And then what really got me was the AI cartoon figures that people were making. So many thoughts there. But there's a reason why everybody looks the same. Video is just one big rant, one big notes app, basically. And that's what I was saying before about like content creators are really good at emulating other content creators. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. And I feel like being a content creator can mean pressing record and oversharing to the internet and sharing it, and that's your content, and that's great and that's beautiful, and you're being vulnerable and I love you for it. To each their own, right? But I feel like, what do you find cool because you find it cool? There's a voice in your head that's like, I think this could be cool. Try following that one time. And honestly, when you start doing it, it's really hard to not follow it. And a lot of people are like, where do you get your ideas from? How do you figure out what videos to make? And I've always thought that was a really interesting question, because I do think it's a very fair question. It's not like there's this endless well of ideas that I have. I think being able to start this off from a place of like, it's not making me money, it's not my job, it's not my career, it's just what I'm doing because I think it's cool. I think having that as my foundation has really helped me a lot when it comes to trusting myself in any kind of decision, whether it's like making a video or like what outfit I'm choosing to wear somewhere, which doesn't make me better, but I don't know. I feel like maybe that's also another reason why maybe I view the way I create content a little differently. Yeah, because at least my explore page on YouTube, I'm constantly inspired. I will say I love the algorithm on YouTube. I'm constantly inspired on here. And when I'm on YouTube, I can't consume 100 YouTube videos a day, which I think is my favorite part about it. And it's not your fault. These apps are designed to keep you on them. When you make your decisions about what's cool and what's not, you don't need other people's cosign. And that's actually the second you become cool. And you can make that choice tomorrow. You can make it today. You can make it in the next 5 minutes. It is a lot easier said than done, obviously. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm excited to do my April favorites. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this one. I'll be back next week and I'll see you then. Bye.